Hey everybody, a little bit of a progress report on Blue, my little pittie, which you see lying here up against his pillow. That's actually um, the pillow that goes on that bench across the room, and it was his favorite place to take a nap for the longest time. But Blue's doing a little bit better. He's not walking. He can only sit up for a short period of time. It appears that what happened was the other night he fell out of bed and damaged either his spine or his hip, one. Anyway, his hips have given out on him and he cannot stand on his back legs. And I've been giving him physical therapy on moving his back legs to keep the flexibility, because you see how stiffly he's holding them. So I move his legs and help him keep his flexibility. I give him massages because since he's not able to move much, he ends up with this like a gas buildup in his stomach, and I have to help him because he'd be throwing off terminal farts, and so I'll help him, that way. Give him a good all over body rub and concentrate on his hips and his back legs, so we can try to keep him a little bit more flexible and help keep him comfortable. And like I said, Patrick has to take him outside when we can. We didn't get to him in time this morning, and he just peed all over the front room floor, and I had to clean that up. But yeah, that's Blue, and he's my sweetheart. He's Daddy's boy, and he's the most perfect little pittie in the world. He's over 20 years old, kind of grizzled around the nose, and so yeah. And the weather that we've been having lately has not been at all helpful with his arthritis in his hips. So yeah. And I'm really worried that we might not have him for too much longer, because he is really not able to get up. And he's in a lot of pain. And when he starts whimpering and crying, it breaks my heart. Oh, I've been deconstructing from religion for quite a while. Since before there was an internet, actually. It started when I was married to my first husband, and I began to see the hypocrisy. And I would go in, a couple of times I went in for marriage counseling with the churches I was going to. I went to the pastor for marriage counseling. On the first one, I was specifically talking about the physical abuse that I was going through. They brushed it under the rug. I said, we don't talk about that. And the second one, Billy Joe Doherty. This was right before the scandal broke out about him. But he told me that what I was there for actually was I was feeling guilty and I wanted prayer for my sin and not so much for my husband. And he made it was my fault. that the abuse was happening. And at this point, I was really beginning to get real fed up with the patriarchal religious system and the hypocrisy and the way abuse was sanctioned within the church. And I didn't give up on God. I gave up on the church, and I gave up on religion, and I went full-time pagan. And I kept Jesus, but I was no longer a Christian, and I identified as a pagan. And I've gone through a lot of changes and gone through several spiritual paths and different religions, and came to the conclusion that every religion was about power and control. And that in far too many religions, the cult behavior was so infused in the indoctrination. The things like working for the church, working for Jesus, and giving all of your money into the church, and not necessarily seeing the miracles that they promised you was going to happen, and being made to feel guilty when you didn't have the money to give, or that you didn't want to spend all this time going out and proselytizing and trying to force others into your religion. Things like that. And I really didn't talk about it a whole lot. I just, when I did start talking about it, I mostly hyped on hypocrisy. That was what got me so furious with Christians claiming how much they loved other people, but all they did was they talked hate. And so yeah, and I don't talk about it anymore. I'm not involved in religious things anymore. I still pray, and I still, I've got my Bible. I still read my Bible. I do all the things I used to do. I just don't identify as a Christian, and I'm an omniist. I believe that every religion has the same validity, and that every deity has the same validity. It's just what you believe. But calling myself a Christian really seems rather disingenuous and hypocritical, because I cannot believe or act in the way that I see Christians doing. I try to follow what Jesus taught, and it's not what I'm seeing from other Christians. Jesus taught kindness and compassion, to love the people that were foreigners, and to take in those that needed a home, and give people food when they were hungry, and clothe them if they didn't have clothes, and to visit the sick. He would have been appalled at the policies that we have concerning immigrants coming into our country. He would have been appalled at ICE and the damage that ICE has done. What really hurts the most is knowing that Jesus Christ was a Palestinian Jew, brown-skinned, with dark black hair and brown eyes, who spoke Hebrew and Aramaic, and possibly Latin, since when he was alive, Israel was under Roman occupation. He would come into this country. He would not speak English. He would be speaking Hebrew or Aramaic and teaching the same things that he taught when he was alive according to the Bible. And he would be crucified all over again, and good Christians would be saying, oh, it's so wonderful. This person came here and he wasn't supposed to be here, and we got rid of him. And they'd be talking about how wonderful a Christian they were. So, yeah, I can't go along with that. Couldn't go along with it, that attitude. But there's my baby Blue. He's so sweet. He's laying there taking a nap. And he knows I'm talking about him because he's a perfect puppy. He's the best puppy in the world. But I thought I'd let you see and let you know that, yes, he is able to at least sit up a little bit and crawl around a little bit, but he can't stand. And he can't do it for very long at a time. He has to be laying down most of the time. So hopefully he will get better. But this is